I'm here with Tuesday, and she considers herself kind of the manifestation expert in a way. People call her the witch doctor and all these other names and stuff, but to me, she's a manifestation expert. And how you doing, Tuesday?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I was just thinking about a lot of other names that people call me.
So yeah, really like your kids and stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
well, yeah.
so basically, I'm here with her, and I'm really thankful you came here because I want to address some critical things that are going on right now. I feel like we're in a movement of different types of energy and stuff. I think people are starting to grasp this whole idea of energy, and they're not seeing it as such hocus pocus or weird or out there, so eccentric that it's just, yeah, that's fluff. And I think I had a hard time because I'm a very analytical person, grasping and understanding. You know, is this real? Is it real? Can you really use energy to manifest stuff? And I think you were talking to me before, and you were talking about how everything is energy and on a molecular structure. Then how can you not parallel that? We could push energy out there, and you could help people connect to other relationships or more money and so on and so forth. Tell us a little bit about that and how that works.
Okay, here we go. Energy it's a force field. It moves through the earth. It moves through the trees, the oils, the herbs, the birds, the bees, the humans, men, women. It moves through everyone.
Right.
Witchcraft is also energy. We work with oils, herbs, roots, and candles, okay?
Right.
Now, people might ask, is it real? Like hocus pocus or like bippity booba? Yes, yes. The answer is yes.
And how can you prove that? A lot of people are asking, to prove all of what.
How can I?
Yeah.
I mean, there's different techniques that we use. It's not just one particular ingredient that goes in my kind of work. It's different kinds of things. It's the way we think. It's the way we feel. It's the way we manifest things out without even realizing it, like the subconscious and the conscious mind. Energy and witchcraft and our thoughts. We get caught up into doubts and fear, and over time, when time elapses, people get confused, and you get stuck in a routine.
Right.
And we start to learn this way. We programmed ourselves this way. Nobody didn't do it to us.
Right.
We've done it to ourselves. Whatever we think, whatever we feel, that's what you're putting out into the universe. The universe doesn't get the difference that you're thinking negative or positive.
Mm-hmm.
It just knows what you're focusing on.
And the feeling behind that.
And the feeling behind that, it kind of like doubles the enforces that energy. It makes it more powerful. It makes it more real. You must have wanted something when you was a little kid.
Yeah.
It could have been a cellular phone, a new car. You wanted it and you wanted it and you wanted it so badly with the desire and passion for it. You never took your mind off of it. You try to figure out ways to get it, and you made it happen.
Right.
Well, it came easily as a kid, but when we grew up and years passes by, life brings you down.
Mm-hmm.
How I can change that, how I help you change that. It's not just spells.
Right.
It's not just witchcraft. It's not just the way we think or feel.
I started realizing how this is really working, and it's funny because a lot of people say, "Oh, I know manifestation is working because of these positive things." Actually, it was the other way around for me that it actually hit me and realized that it was working as negative things happened when I started really feeling
putting your focus there. Yeah, you start realizing it.
I went to Mexico, and I was there with my fiance now. And I was thinking on the plane before we landed, and this is like 12 o'clock when we got there, what if our hotel, and this is a ridiculous thought because we booked it with a travel agent and all this other stuff, is not there when we got there. Why was I thinking that? Because I was probably crabby and
cranky,
I was just,
and upset and jet lagged.
Yes, exactly. And lo and behold, we went there and we went through all the customs, and I finally got there. They said, "No, I'm sorry. We don't have you on here file." I'm like, "What? We paid. Here's a credit card." They're like, "Oh, there's no, transaction that went through from your travel personnel." And and we had to go find another hotel. And this is busy season, stuff we couldn't. But I started things like that. I started realizing. I go, wow, this is what I was thinking. And I correlated that to, and most people don't correlate it. That's the problem.
No,
You know?
and we forget along the way. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, your routine comes into place, and it just becomes everyday life.
So what I see you as is not only like, oh, you know all these things. You have your bag of tricks, and you help people out.
Yes, I've studied it. To be honest with you, I hate to say it, but I'm kind of like obsessed with my work.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
But above and beyond that, I think you also keep people on track of where it is, like a coach. Kind of like if you're going to go to a gym,
yes,
you want somebody that motivates you and reminds you and says, hey, get back on track, focus on this. You know?
Yes. It's the mind, the body, and the spirit that I'm helping with.
Right.
It's not one aspect of it. And when we just concentrate just on energy, then you're just focusing on energy. But when you contact the mind, the heart, the body, the soul, and along with coaching and with a lot of common sense, believe it or not, that people just forget along the way.
Right.
It's really, really powerful. But like I said, it's several ingredients.
I think this goes way back beyond, this 21st century and 20th century. It goes way back.
Yes.
Do you know how far back it goes? And you want to give us a little insight?
From the beginning. I mean, Jesus said it. Jesus said, you could do what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
And he made, it's faith.
Right.
You have to believe it. If it's not believable to you, it's not going to be believable. You're not going to manifest
that's
it.
really important. If you believe it from your core and your gut,
from the core in your gut,
then it's more likely to be manifested than if you just kind of, I don't really, that's interesting.
Exactly.
I think people were scared of this, the witchcraft era and all these other things,
well, Yeah, of course. It's the way movies portrayed us, the green wicked witch of the West or something. But no, it's not. There's nothing scary to it. I mean, if you're scared of changing your life, if you're scared for good things to happen, I mean, let's go back to the centuries where they used to hang witches because they used herbs, because they used candles, and they believed in the spiritual world, and they used these, and they did their rituals.
And they must have seen it working at some point. If they didn't see it working, they'd be like, don't hang them. They're just retarded,
Exactly. There must have been something to it.
Yeah, they're like, well, if they could do that, then I'm a little scared of my male chauvinistic attitudes that I can't control them,
Exactly. I mean, let's look at, the Buddhists. They believe in herbal doctors. They don't like going to regular doctors, Orientals.
Mm-hmm.
But it works for them.
Here's another thing I was thinking of, and I was kind of getting into, and I was watching, things. And you talked about belief and the belief. What if you believe something in your own little world, and your husband or whoever is your friend doesn't believe it? Does that mean their energy affects you at any point, or how does that work? Tell me.
Well, yes. The answer to that question is yes. It's still complicated. What I think is good, or I think is fun, or let's say there's a meal I like that you don't like, you have your own opinion toward it. And if you don't...
But does that affect your energy?
Yes,
as well?
Because your friends are always influenced. Your parents are influenced. Your brother, your sisters are influenced. Everybody's an influence in our life. There's always things that people say. Even as kids, we always try to fit in high school, or we wanted to be accepted.
Right.
That's the way it is. It affects your energy. It affects the way you think. And then you doubt what you're thinking or you're feeling, your original instinct, your original, let's do it. Mm-hmm. Or if somebody says, I don't think so, then you're all of a sudden kind of got that fear.
So is it really important to surround yourself by positive people?
Try. Okay, that's not always possible, but we can try. Like, let's say if there's someone around us and there's a third person and she keeps on going in a negative conversation. Well, let's just keep trying to change the conversation.
Yeah.
You don't have to be rude about it. We don't have to be, mean about it. Just change it. Say, that's true and everything, but move along to did you hear about something good, and try to switch the conversation. Yeah. People catch on, believe it or not. Right. And all of a sudden find themselves in a good mood.
But that's what you coach, and that's what you kind of help people do when you get in a situation. And that's why you dive so deep about who they are and what surrounds them and everything else like that.
Absolutely.
I think that's really, really important of understanding who the person is, what they're doing, because on a subconscious level, they're not really realizing what they're doing and how they're affecting their own energy and stuff and
Yes.
what they're surrounding by. And I think
Yes.
that's really important.
And the subconscious, Ryan, is much more stronger than the conscious mind.
By a factor of 1,000, or what do you think?
I'm not a scientist, but I'm definitely telling you it's way more.
Well, I've said that all the time, actually. It's funny you said that because I was thinking about like birds and how they know to fly south, east, and west. But not only that, they don't have a GPS system and they're not text messaging each other, hey, it's time to go this way and we're going to go on this coordinate exactly. And they have a calendar and say, yes, it's time to go. We have to go. It's like they instinctually know, but it made me think. And also, you ever seen those birds, they fly in a kind of V formation? Well,
yes. How do they know this?
How are they
born just knowing this?
And how do they know to turn when everybody else turns? Notice when they turn, they all turn at the same time. Yes. It's like they're communicating telepathically how to know. I think human beings are very cognitively smart. They like to think things through, but they don't trust their own subconscious ability. Yes.
Yes. They don't trust instincts, number one. They're always doubting everything, always afraid of everything. And understand, those are very negative feelings.
Right.
Scared, lonely, depressed, feeling stuck, or you've read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad
by Robert Kiyosaki. Yes.
How the two different dads were just completely different. The teacher didn't expect to be any more thing or anything else beside.
And that's what I'm talking about. That teacher was a very analytical type dad and stuff. He has his PhD and stuff. But I mean, and I see friends and stuff who are extremely smart. And then I see somebody else who is extremely, let's say, wealthy and well off, and he has great relationships and all this stuff. And I would say his IQ is half of the friend I know. And I'm like, trying to parallel what's going on here, you know?
Yes, but well, probably the rich guy was more passionate. I'm much more passionate about what he wanted, what direction he was going in.
So that's an emotion.
An emotion is an energy. It all comes in from the core.
Passion is an emotion. Is that what you're saying?
Passion is an emotion and energy. It's an energy field it's both.
So give me an example of like one of your clients and how, or somebody, and how they could go from where they are now to what they want. And give me an example of what they want. Like, let's say you want a new husband or boyfriend, whatever it is that, you know, you're going to help them with, or money, or, you know.
Right. Well, let's just say relationship, because that's number one problem that I usually have is everybody calls about a relationship and they want something to go a certain way. You have to manifest that. You got to believe it, number one, that it's going to be yours, that it's meant to be. Okay. That's number one. Number two, you have to want.
Wait. And how do you believe it? I think that's the first hardest step for a lot of people to believe it. If they're surrounded by negative energy or whatever it is, how do you believe it? You go out to nature.
They made that conscious choice. I help the client to understand that you've made this conscious choice.
Right, but how do you get yourself to actually believe that? How do you get that confidence level to...
You see other people. I mean, you have to use examples. Different examples. I'll use Donald Trump, for instance, and how he went from bankrupt, he went from rich to bankrupt and all of a sudden rich again.
Right.
He just knew he could do it. He believed it. And it's like, I want to lose weight. Was I skinny before? Yes. Have I lost weight before? Yes. You look for all the yes answers.
Oh.
And try to stay away from the, no, I don't think this is possible. You got to force yourself, like reprogram yourself to want these things. And it's hard because automatically we find ourselves thinking about negative things because that's just the way we've
programmed
society or programmed ourselves. And that's the way we are.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that we can't learn something new or different. It doesn't mean that it's not changed.
And it's like lifting weights. And that's why, you know, I'm thankful for you who is around, who reconditions that muscle. And a lot of people think, well, if they watch this one video that we're doing, they're going to do it and they're going to do it. But I have seen this over and over where you're done what you get motivated and you're like, oh, that was great. Oh my God, I'm going to do this. And then you get surrounded by your negative thoughts and your programming. And then you start declining again, you know?
Exactly. It even happens to me. And I do this for a living. I mean, there are hills and valleys, okay? I have clients that I've had for as long as I've been in business, and that's almost 27 years. So we always need, you know, a pick-me-up.
Right.
Or, you know, when my mom was alive, my gosh, she was my world. And when she passed away, I thought, I'll never survive this. I thought I'd never be able to get over this. Then I realized that she never really left me. She's still here with me. I still feel her. I'll see her one day again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to just know that and believe that.
Right.
And when you start to believe it, you make it small in the beginning to be believable.
Right.
You got to take baby steps to it. It's not something we're just going to wave a magic wand to here.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. It's baby steps.
And you got to take the little increments of believing the little things and seeing the miracles in life.
Yes.
And then adding on.
Even though they're little, you got to kind of like make it believable, take the steps to make it bigger. And then the more believable it becomes, more easier it becomes, and more natural it becomes.
I always said to people, is it possible to have 4 senses? I'm like, well, yeah, they could be blind or, you know, deaf and stuff. But what about that 6th sense? And I think you have that 6th sense where you could see a little bit more than other people.
Yes.
And that's why you're so important here on earth with us. That we attach ourselves to people like you, and you go, hey, you don't see it, but I see it. Oh, just trust me. Just walk in that direction. Don't worry. It's going to be okay. And that's kind of how you work now?
It's kind of, there's much, much more to it. I mean,
that's a simplistic kind of,
But the simplicity, yes, that's exactly what I do. Coaching you along with it.
Exactly. One more thing, because we have to go pretty soon, but tell us a little about other ways you help. And I know you use remedies and all this other stuff, which is totally hocus pocus to me and weird. So I want to hear your take on other things you actually use that help with this manifestation.
Well, okay, it's meditation involved. There's research involved. First, there has to be an established communication between my spiritual guide and your spiritual guide. When I go into a meditation, it's not earth, it's not heaven, it's not hell. It's like there's a middle ground there. There's a middle world there that not everybody could see and communicate with. So that's where we get that communication going. Right. Once I get into that communication, then I want to draw in on the perfect energies that would work for you. Like, for instance, tomorrow's the full moon. The full moon may not work with your energy this month. So I'll have to figure out ways to block it with certain herbs, oils, crystals, candles, different incense. I mean, all combination of things. Right. And draw in on the positive only what that planet alignment has for that moment. Right. And that's where the herbs and the candles and the materials come into play. Right. It's meditation. It's communicating with the spiritual guides. They tell me basically everything. What needs to be done, how I can do it, how long it's going to take me generally, because there's no time in the middle world. There's no calendar or clock. So it's kind of hard because I have to put it in terms where people will understand it. Yeah. What I see and feel and understand that other side, it's hard to put it in English, in other words. Yeah. It's like a complete different language. Yeah. That's interesting. And it's learning it. And if you've learned the ABCs, the song ABCs, you can learn this. Yeah, that's really interesting. And it becomes, I mean, and everybody has gone to a place where they feel kind of eerie and like, oh, what is this? This feels creepy. Or gone to a place where it's holy and they feel like, and that's just the energies. And you're taking the same type of thought process where you're taking these energies and you're saying, hey, here it is. Like, I'm going to put this on you to match your energy in the ways. Exactly. That kind of how it works? Yeah. Yes. It kind of like we link. Yeah. We all kind of interlinking. Give me before we go, give me 2 or 3 tips that you could give to people who are watching this right now. And you've got to decide to change. That's number 1. You have to want it. And if you want it, you need to do the changing before you start seeing the changes on the outside. Okay. Number 2, you have to be positive. You have to believe it. You have to have faith in it. Okay? Number 3, you need to talk about with people positive things. Start being more positive in your surrounding. Surround yourself with positive conversation. Surround yourself, if you watch a movie, choose a movie that's going to make you laugh or have a happy ending.
Your
your
environment.
environment.
I got you.
Change these few simple things, and then you'll start to notice the small changes
Okay.
manifest in your life.
And also, I'm sure people are wondering this. If you're pretty booked up and stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and put a sign up thing because you don't take everybody. Am I right?
No, not every case is doable. Not every case I can help. No, and that's something I'll determine in the beginning after the first meditation.
So if it's okay with you, at the bottom of this video, I'm going to go ahead and put a link to your fill out form, so you could scan through this, and it's going to go to you. Is that okay with you? I know you get tons of these, but at least you could help.
I'll be able to see which ones I can and cannot help.
Right. And then after that, what do? They schedule you in, or you schedule them in, you talk to them, figure out what's worked for how you could coach them, and then take it from there.
Yeah, they call me up, they tell me where they're experiencing problems, what they want to change. From that point on, they'll give me their name and date of birth, usually through email or text message.
Right.
I'll do a meditation, see if the case is doable. Then they'll call me back in an hour or two, or a specific time I ask them to call me back, give them the information, what I found out, if I can help them. Then yes, they can choose a plan. I have different plans here.
Very nice.
Packages they can use.
I love it. All right, I'll put that form down there and fill it out for any of those who want to get in touch with her, and if they feel like they need help and stuff, and she will look over it, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Tuesday.
It was nice
Thank you so much. It was nice talking to you too. All right.
Bye.
Bye.